Is there an employee that drives you up the wall? Are you wallowing in regret now because it was your hiring decision? All managers know the pain that comes with bringing in the wrong person. They make your work more difficult, and firing a lousy employee is no easy feat. People are always the single largest expense in a company's budget. Yet most companies have a better process for buying office supplies than they do for hiring great talent. Why is this so? The book The Best Team Wins by Gostick and Alton states that there is an amazingly straightforward answer to this. Most companies are bad at hiring because most companies don't teach their managers how to do it. Did you know that 50% of the factors that predicts a person's success or failure in a role have nothing to do with their industry experience? Joe Turchin, for example, has a background in investment banking and finance, but is now the director of corporate development and strategy for a company named Merrill Lynch in New Jersey. It is no longer good enough to rely on someone's resume to determine if they would make a good hire. Resumes are marketing documents. They are designed to land an interview. Resumes don't tell you anything about how the candidate performs to expectations or how well they might fit in your culture. And yet, most companies make a candidate's resume a cornerstone of their hiring process. Never use your gut feelings to make a hiring decision because no matter how much you might like someone, it does not predict that they will be good at their job. Let us dive into the four most significant predictors of job performance across every type of job. They are so predictive that managers only need to focus on these four factors to consistently improve their hiring results. Number one, attitude. Attitude is defined as a person's disposition towards work. According to one fascinating research project conducted at the University of Minnesota, it found that we are hardwired with either a positive or negative attitude towards work. After comparing the dispositions of 34 identical twins who were separated at 6 months old, the psychologists who ran the study concluded that genes might be a part of the reason why some people seem happy no matter what they do, whereas others have trouble finding a satisfying job. So, how do you measure a candidate's attitude during an interview? A quick example would be asking a candidate to describe the most frustrating aspect of their prior job. Ask them what makes it harder for them to do their job. If the person tells you, for example, they worked for a manager who had a different working style and made it hard for them to get along, and they look at this current position as one where they will be able to learn and grow, consider that a positive spin on things. Conversely, if a candidate tells you that their manager was a total jerk and had no idea what they were doing, well, you get the idea. Because job satisfaction is stable across time, and because it is linked to good performance, we can reasonably assume that a candidate who recalls a positive outlook on past experience will likely be a better performer, no matter what the job might be. Number two, accountability. This is the extent to which a person believes they have control over their outcomes, also known as locus of control. When good or bad things happen, does the person take accountability for their actions and for their contribution to the result? Research tells us that people with an internal locus of control tend to perform better at their jobs across all roles. These are people who attribute the events that happen, both good and bad, to their own actions or decisions. On the other hand, those with an external locus of control tend to attribute their personal outcomes to external factors, such as other individuals, luck, or fate. They tend to perform more poorly on the job. In an interview, ask the candidate about the last time they set a goal for themselves that they had failed to achieve. If they answer with statements like, I could have done a better job planning this effort, or I should have realized that my decision would lead to issues, they likely have an internal locus of control. However, if they blame their failure on the economy or their manager, it wasn't my fault. you will know that they have an external locus of control. When a candidate places the blame on external factors, you should see a red flag. Number 3, past-related job success. Researchers have generally accepted that past behavior is the most accurate predictor of future behavior. If the context of the person's last job, such as the activities, goals, and environment, closely matches the context of the job you are hiring them for, a candidate who has met or exceeded their goals in the past job is likely to meet or achieve similar goals in the future. For example, a person who has worked as a barista at Starbucks will be able to tell you with incredible detail how every minute of their shift was monitored. Average customer wait times, average ticket price, drink refunds, and wastage are some of the many matrices for their performance. A person who succeeds in this environment is more likely to succeed in a role that requires them to manage themselves to hourly targets like customer wait time. During an interview, ask the candidate about a job where their success was measured. Ask them to describe the metrics by which their work was measured on a daily or weekly basis. Then ask how they performed relative to their peers. If your candidate says their performance was never been tracked, or if they give you weak answers that are light on details, you know they have failed to meet this standard. Number 4, cultural fit. This is the degree to which the job applicant shares similar values with the organization. But defining your company's culture may be a bit of a gray area. Here is how you can do it. Imagine you are sending a mission to Mars to meet the newly discovered alien life forms. You have to pick the best person in your company to send, and you can't send yourself. Who would you pick? And what qualities do they demonstrate that you feel are exemplary of your culture? Is it because they show up on time? Or because they ruthlessly make their numbers? Or because they are kind and quick to help others? Your answers are what you, as a manager, value in your employee. They are your core values. It is important to screen candidates to see if the values that motivate them are a match for you and your company. Ghosting and Alton recommends for us to even prioritize cultural fit over experience. In a case study of Michael Kessman, CEO of Urbanbound, in his early days, they were looking to hire a top-notch salesperson. He felt lucky when they identified someone who had everything they were looking for. He had a wide network of contacts in the areas that they are looking to expand into. However, the salesman's experience had come from large corporations that had far more infrastructure and resources than the startup he had just joined. They ignored that he had never worked in such an environment before. After 3 months, he was struggling to adapt to the fast-moving culture, and Crashman was forced to let him go. It was an expensive lesson for Crashman, but he now prioritizes time during interviews to explain to candidates what it means to work in a fast-paced environment and what would be expected of them to thrive in it. Crashman stated that it is important for us to hire people that match the needs of the company at that time. The culture of a startup is very different from a company celebrating its 10th year anniversary. Many hiring managers fall into this trap, thinking about hiring for the company they want to have in the future, instead of hiring for the needs and culture they have right now. So here we have it, the 4 elements of success that all hiring managers need to look out for to make great hiring decisions. If you enjoyed the content in this video, be sure to press the like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below on what kind of content you would like to see next. Thank you for watching, and till next time.